All right, welcome back, yogis. My name is Alex, and today we'll be doing a practice really good for runners, but also all yogis alike. That will be especially helpful if you just ran hills and dealing with some of the pressure that you might feel in kind of the front outer hip flexor area and some of the pressure you might feel above your knee and the bottom portions of your quads. To use today, we'll be using our lacrosse ball if you have one, or a tennis ball would work just as well. And then a block will be helpful. If you don't have a block, you can actually use a chair. With a couple of our stretches, having a little higher surface could be really helpful. All right, so set your toys off to the side where we can grab them soon. And let's begin standing with your feet together. Big toes touching side by side. Turn your palms to face forward. Widen out your collarbones. Relax your shoulders and close your eyes. Take a long breath in through your nose. And out of your mouth. Twice more. Breathe in. And let it go. Last time. Let it go. Breathe in and out through your nose for the rest of our practice. Open your eyes. Inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch. You might look up. Slow motion, hands to your heart. Exhale, apply a little pressure, tense up your upper arm and chest muscles. Again, inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Last time. Inhale, reach out and up. Take up a lot of space. And hands to your heart, exhale. Good. Adding on, drive down through your heels. Inhale, reach up, palms face each other. Turn your outer arms a little forward so it feels like your armpits turn towards your chest and your shoulder blades move away from your spine. And from the outer edge of your shoulder blades, shrug up a little. Lift the outer shoulder blades up. Big breath. Exhale, reach your upper body to the left. That left arm, bring it in front of your hips and reach it to the right, kind of like a yin and yang sign. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, opposite direction. Right arm reaches in front of your hips, both arms active. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the left. Drive down through the heels, especially your right heel. Inhale. Exhale, other direction. Push down left heel, lift out of the right side hip. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, other direction. Let the outer right shoulder blade shrug. Inhale. Exhale, outer left shoulder blade wide and elevated. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, both arms up. Last time, exhale, right arm across the body. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to your hips. Take a chair shape, push down your heels, stick your butt back a little, and if it's attached to your legs, recruit it. Drive down through the heels, tighten all the butt muscles, hug your inner thighs in and back, and keep your lower abs firm. You can keep your hands on your hips, or you can drop your hands to your thighs, kind of like cat and cow. Inhale, chest up, tail reaches back. Try not to overdo it. Exhale, push with your hands a little, round your spine, tuck your chin. Again, inhale, hips back, chest up. Exhale, tuck the tail somewhat. Try not to jam into your lower back. Again, inhale, back bend. Exhale, rounded spine. 2 more. Inhale. Shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, rounded spine, shoulder blades away from each other. Last time. Inhale. Keep your legs strong. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, back bend. Stand up and relax the arms. Exhale. Cool. So your right foot, come onto the tallest point of the big toe and try to get your heel over the big toe as best you can. And then make gentle circles with the ankle. Don't worry about how wide the circles go, just go comfortable. So keeping the heel as high over the toes as you can. Smooth circles. Don't worry about big circles, just nice and gentle, smooth, and consistent. Draw some blood in that area. Cool. Try the other direction. Keep the heel as high as you can. And as little pressure on the top of the big toe as you can. So your big toes on the floor, the top of the big toes touching the floor. We're not laying a lot of weight into it. Just using it to pivot and spin around on. 3, 2, and change. Relax. Switch out the legs. Shift weight to your left or right leg. Strong thigh, outer butt muscles strong, so your thigh bone has a nice home inside the hip socket. Come onto the top of the big toe on your left foot, heel over toe as best you can. In comfortable circles. I'm starting with counterclockwise, but we're going to get both directions, so just go in the direction that feels most natural. Again, we're looking for a nice glide, not necessarily a big wide circle. Keep the standing legs strong, abs drawn in and up. Good foundational qualities of a standing posture. Try the other direction. See if it feels clunky or a little out of rhythm. And then progressively smooth it out. A little bit more fluid. Three. 2. Good. And change. Release the left leg, give it a little shake. All right, strong left leg. Pin those outer butt muscles in, engage your thigh muscles. With your right leg, flex the toes up firmly so you can feel a little bit more stability. Cross the body and then open up and make some circles. So do about 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Change directions. Go out to in. 2, 3, 4. Strong flexion upwards with the toes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Change. Switch weight to the right leg. Good foundational qualities. Drive through the ball of the foot. Engage thigh. Engage outer glute muscles in. Cross the body with your left leg. Upward flexion, dorsiflexion of the toes. And then circles, outward circles. What we want to feel is that we're hopefully, one, creating some blood flow into these tissues, getting them ready for what's to come, and that we're increasing the ability for those muscles around your hips to glide. A lot of times when we do repetitive stress exercises, running, things like that, that gliding connective tissue or the gliding fascia between the muscles and around the muscles becomes a little sticky. And so we want to use these types of movements and change. Try the inward circles or clockwise circles. Use these movements to help increase that lubrication and a nice smooth gliding of muscles past each other. Less friction, less stickiness. Hopefully more comfortable. 3, 2, and change. Good. Switch weight to the left leg. Similar idea. This time it'll be in hip extension, so the leg behind you. Flex through the toes upwards with the shin, and out and around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Other direction. Out, back, forward, and around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Change. Switch out the legs. Shift weight to your right leg. Standing leg strong. Left leg back. Upward flexion of the toes. Back, out, forward, and around. If your balance isn't perfect, neither is mine. That's okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And change direction. So still on the right leg, left leg reaches back, forward, out, around, back. Counterclockwise. 4, 5, 6, abs firm, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, change. All right, so be really careful of the standing leg's knee. Make sure it's not feeling twisted or your ankle feels uncomfortable or unsafe. We're gonna add a little bend to the knee. So straighten and stand in a strong left leg. We're gonna be playing with the right knee. Bend the knee, go across your chest, open out, and step back. Again, across the body, up and out, and step back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so again, be really careful of the standing leg's knee. Pivot the right hip out a little. Still, we're going to be balancing on the left leg. We're going to close the gate this time. So right knee goes out, around, and forward, and back. 2, out, forward, in, and back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Switch legs. So the left knee goes across the body, opens out, and steps back. 1. Across the body, opens out. 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Again, really careful of the front leg's knee. Make sure we're not feeling twisted on it. Move with control, move with stability. Left hip opens up, and then forward and back. So we go out, forward, in, and back. Real smooth. 3. Speak of the devil. Real smooth, and I start to fall. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Shake it out. Feet separated hip width at the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Forward fold, exhale. Right leg back, no, right leg forward, left leg back. Low lunge, set your left knee down, point your toes back, look a bit forward and keep the fingers on the floor. Good, drive down the big toe side of the ball of your front foot and tighten your outer right butt muscles in. Tighten the left butt muscles and zip up your abs and get the longest torso possible. 3, 2, splits. Shift your hips back so your left thigh bone is straight up and down. Use your hand and help the front leg a little forward. Probably a decent bend in the knee and your arms straight up and down. The length of your spine is your priority. Chest up and forward. If you feel compelled to round your spine, bend the right knee more. Give your back more room. Let your inner right thigh feel heavy so your knee points up. And let your inner right thigh move into the back of your hip socket a little. And slide your outer right ribs into the body and forward. 3. 2. 1 more. So it's going to be a lizard. Tuck your back foot. Lift the left knee and bend into the front leg. Walk your front foot a little wider to the right. Put both hands on the inside of your front foot. Roll, if comfortable, onto the outer edge of your front foot. So your big toe is roughly stacking over the pinky toe. Drive down the outer edge of the heel. Load up some pressure in that front hip and just move around a little. So yeah, you might feel some hip flexor stretching in the front side of the back leg. We also want to feel some pressure loaded up in the right hip and that we're experimenting with a little bit of movement to massage that pressure. Breathe and explore. We're here for a little bit less than a minute. Couple more breaths. Three, 2. Carefully walk the right foot a little to the left so your hands can frame the foot. Step your left foot forward to the front of the mat. Step your right leg back, low lunge prep. Place the right knee on the floor, point the toes. Make sure your left foot is flat. You can move the foot around until that happens. And just like you're getting ready for a sprint, chest forward. Press down the top of your back foot. Reach your inner right thigh towards the back of your mat. Tighten your right butt muscles and your abs comfortably. And give your spine as much space as possible. If you feel a little bit too much, you can always put your left hand on your thigh and lift your chest slightly higher. Push down the top of that back foot. Imagine that the right leg is your kicking leg and you're visualizing that right leg trying to kick through the floor and forward so the muscles that are lengthening are engaging. And you can even play with it where you inhale, soften a little, exhale, engage, or vice versa. But apply your pressure rhythmically and breathe here for 3. 2. Last one. Half splits. Shift your hips back so your right thigh is vertical. Help the front leg a little forward so the ball of the foot is off the floor. Probably a decent bend in the left knee, which is worth it to lengthen your spine. Let your inner left thigh turn towards the floor comfortably. Then draw your inner left thigh to the back of your hip socket and lengthen your outer left ribs forward away from the hip spine, away from that hip crest. Last 3. 2. Lizard, take your time, tuck the back foot, lift the right knee and shift forward. Walk your left foot wider to the left so your hands are inside of your left foot. Turn your toes out a little, not too crazy, and roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. So it's almost as though you're trying to stack your toes. Make sure the outer ankle feels stable. We're not letting your foot turn like a hockey stick or putting too much pressure on the outer ankle of your front foot. Back leg strong, load up some pressure in the front left hip, and then move around a little. We got about a minute. Three more breaths. Carefully. Heel toe your front foot towards the center of the mat. And step your back foot forward, feet together, big toes touching. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands on hips, exhale. Rise, inhale. And relax the arms, roll out your neck, and make sure everything is adapting pretty well. Cool. So make sure your block is handy on a tall setting towards the front of your mat where it's pretty close. Or if you have a chair, same thing, just turn the chair so you have the seat portion available to you. It'll be the same thing as the block, it's just going to be a little higher. Your legs together, step the left leg back about a yard, about 3 feet. Normal steps distance, normal legs length. And give yourself a little bit of width from right to left so you feel really sturdy. Your back foot pointed towards the top left corner of the mat, about a little sharper than a 45-degree angle. Right hand on your hip, draw the right hip back. You might bend the front knee a little. You must not bend the back leg. Left arm up, breathe in. Revolve Triangle, reach your left arm forward, put the hand on the block or the chair. You may bend the front leg, please don't bend the back leg. Push down your left heel and use that as an anchor to lengthen your spine from. Move your chest forward. Press down the ball of your front foot and take your right butt cheek straight back. Simultaneously squeeze your upper inner thighs towards each other. So this might be a perfect spot to stay, or you can pivot your chest to face the right side wall. Drive down left heel, drive down ball of your right foot, move your right butt cheek to the wall behind you, and squeeze your inner thighs in at each other gently for 3. Lower abs firm, lower back long and comfortable. 2. Put a little bend in the front knee. Left arm, reach it forward. Inhale, rise up. Good. Hands on your hips, feet together. Step your right leg back about a yard, 3 feet or so. Back foot towards the top right corner of the mat. A little bit of width from left to right can help your stability. Right arm up, breathe in. Exhale, reach forward, hand to block. Put the block under your right shoulder. Press down the heel of your back foot. Move your chest forward. Lengthen your spine is your priority. You may bend the front knee, but not the back one. Press down the ball of your left foot and take your left butt cheek straight back. And comfortably turn your chest to the left side of your mat. Imagine there's a block between your inner thighs. Hug onto that block and lift it into your body. Keep contact with the big toe side of the ball of your left foot to the floor and drive down through the heel of your back foot. 5, 4, 3, 2. Put some bend in your left knee. Right arm, inhale, reach it forward and rise up. Relax the arms and step your feet together. All right. Separate your legs a little wider than hip width, bend over, and come down to a Malasana, squatting pose. So adjust your footing, play with the width of your feet and the angle of your feet until it's most possible for your feet to be flat. Now this might be really tough, especially if you're a runner, but that's okay. Do the best that you can. If it's a bit too much, you can use your block on any setting, any height, and sit on your block. You're probably going to have to walk the feet a little forward and a little wider if you're sitting on your block. But if that allows you to sit up tall and stable, totally worth it. If you feel safe with your heels on the floor, we'll keep them there. If you have any MCL injuries, if you have any bursitis in your hip, you're probably best just to stay in this posture. Maybe even probably best to be supported by your block in this posture for, 30 seconds to a minute, as long as your body feels comfortable with it. If you feel okay adding a little bit of dynamic movement to this, we're going to carefully, fingers to the floor, pivot your right knee to the floor and lift your right heel up so you can sit on the right heel. The big toe side of the ball of the foot is grounded so your inner ankle and your big toe feel safe. Your left toe is turned out and you're pretty much stacking heel over knee and your left foot flat. The inner thigh reaches up. Breathe in. Try the other direction. You can use your fingers, pivot your legs, pivot your heels, left knee down, sit on the left heel, right foot flat, roughly stacking knee over heel, and then you can open the inner thigh out. So you can keep doing this with the support of your hands, going side to side comfortably and with support. Or if you feel really healthy in the knees, really mobile in the hips today, you can do it without the use of your hands. Let's try a couple in each direction. In order to keep your knees safe, make sure that your feet are swiveling and pivoting on the mat so it doesn't feel like your feet are stuck and all the movement comes from the knee joint. I want to feel that your feet are able to swivel, pivot, lift the heel, pivot the knee. And it's all working in a pretty stable and comfortable place. 3. This is fun. 2. Bounce yourself out once more in each direction. Come back to your squat. Fingers down, lift the hips, bring the feet together, and we'll come into a down dog. So turn and face the short edge of your mat if you're not already. Step your feet back. Breathe some life into your hamstrings. Breathe some life into your calves. Pedal it out. Camel pose, place your knees on the ground directly below your hips so your thigh bones are straight up and down. Hands on your high glutes. Inhale, reach your elbows back, move your hips forward, lift your chest up. And exhale, slowly start to arc your spine with a lot of support. We're thinking up more than back. Press down the top of your feet. Hug an imaginary block in between your inner thighs. Draw your lower abs in and up so it feels like the front points of your hips get closer and your pubic bone lifts. Reach the elbows back and press your shoulder blades up into your heart so your collarbones smile. And I'm looking forward, just makes it easier for me not to get dizzy. It also makes it easier for me to talk to you. but you might look up if you feel robust. 3, 2, rise, inhale. Knees together, feet together, sit on your heels. Now this might be a tall order for runners, so take your time with it. You can try a couple things. One, make sure that you have long inner ankles. If your toes turn in or turn out, it's more likely to feel uncomfortable. So try to give both sides of your ankles space. Your toes point straight back. You can put a towel under the gap between your ankles and the floor. You can put a rolled up towel behind your knees, so you don't have to sit all the way to the heels. You don't have to bend the knees all the way. Or you can stick your block in between your heels and sit on your block. Outer ankles hugged in. Inner thighs turned down. We'll sit here for about a minute or so and give the ankles some time to lengthen. All right, yogis, change. Shift forward to all fours, hands and knees. Untuck your ankles and knees one at a time and breathe some life into them with gentle movement. So especially if you're running uphill, you're doing that toes flex towards your shin shape a lot. And the front of your shins might start to burn like the Dickens. As my brother always says when he wants me to run fast, the Dickens. Or when you're running downhill, your calves are helping you to point your toes, and they're also helping you to use as like brakes. Your calves and your thighs are the brakes that are preventing you from going too fast or falling forward. So your ankles and your part of the quads right above the knees can get really tender after doing some hill work. And it's nice to have a practice where you're putting some length into the tops of the ankles to match some of the calf stretching we've done in the other runners rehab videos. All right, so this next one, you can use a wall to make it more intense. If you're feeling a little tender, no need to use the wall yet. We'll build up to it with the shape that we've used in other runners videos. So if you're tender, what you're gonna do is create a square shape. Your front legs, shin straight up and down. Your back legs, thighs straight up and down. And you're gonna sit up real tall. And from there, the instructions will be the same. If you have a wall and you feel pretty good about applying some pressure onto your thighs and your knees aren't too sensitive, then we can do something a little bit more intense. If your knees are pretty sensitive, it's not bad to have a towel to fold up and put under your knees for a little extra cushion, a towel or a blanket. All right, so it's going to be like that same low lunge shape, but we're going to have your shin against the wall and your heel and butt as close as comfortable. So sit up in front of the wall, kind of like you're getting ready to a lunge. Your right knee is the one that's in front of you. Lift your left knee, slide the shin into the wall, and place the kneecap as close to the wall as you can. Your heel towards the outer edge of your hip, towards the outer edge of your butt. Not by much, just a little. Now make sure your right shin is vertical. Option 1, press the top of your back foot, the one that's in the wall, into the wall. Tighten your butt muscles a little and your abs a little. Feeling safe? Option 2, climb your hands up your right thigh, firm up your abs, and lift your chest. Option 3, the closer you get your back to the wall, the more intense it's going to become. So if you can use less arc in the spine and a more vertical torso, and the closer that torso gets to the wall, the more pressure you can apply. How much do you want? Make sure it stays in the muscles. If it feels really heavy in the knees or really intense in the actual hip itself or your low back, maybe ease off at this time and try to keep the pressure in the belly of the muscles, belly of the thigh, the spider web inside of your hip in front of your spine, that spider web looking hip flexor combination, iliopsoas. And we're here for 3. Trying to stay calm for 2. Soft expression, last one. Carefully, fingers to the floor. Push down the front foot, lift the back knee, and step the left foot forward. Ragdoll type shape, pump out the legs, watch the color come back to the foot that was just against the wall. I can feel your excitement. You're ready to try the other side. Let's do it. So right heel towards your butt, top of your foot on the wall. Slowly ease the right knee towards the wall and towards the floor. Option one, fingers stay down, your chest a little forward, your abs strong. The taller your chest gets, the more intensity it's going to be. Option two, climb up your left thigh. An option to increase pressure. The closer you get your mid back to the wall, the less arched your spine, the more natural your spine, the more intensity. Your hip flexors are trying to pull your belt buckle down. We're also trying to put a big back bend right into your mid-low back. So if you can lift your abs, pull up your tail, or pull up your hip points, reach your tail towards the back of your knees, we can increase the pressure. Whew. This is intense. 5, 4, 3, 2. And carefully, fingertips to the floor, push into the wall to lift the right knee, step it forward, watch the color come back to the foot, pedal out the legs. Let's use our lacrosse ball. All right, so coming away from the wall, grab your lacrosse ball. And we're going to start above the kneecap, kind of in that wide portion of the thigh muscles above the knee where they start to get kind of bunched up, and you can see the kind of heads of the thighs on the upper portions of the inner and outer knee. And we're going to move that ball around that top portion of above the knee, low portion of the thigh muscles. So start lying on your stomach. Bend the right knee out to the side and tuck that ball on the thigh higher than the kneecap, just in that kind of fleshy portion of the inner edge of the thigh muscles. And then carefully, circle, go forward and back, go side to side, massage out those areas. You can decide how much pressure you want by leaning into it a bit more. And we don't want to hit pinpointed pressures and just stay there and ice pick and press down one spot. We want to keep things flowing. We want to keep things moving. So again, think about what we were talking about earlier, especially with repetitive stress or if we're sitting a lot throughout the day, some of those connective tissues and fascial tissues that separate our muscles and separate our muscle fibers, they can get a little sticky. When they go to slide past each other, they create more friction, more tension, and less of a smooth glide between these muscles. So it's nice to go in there and massage it out. I know if you're doing this right now, nice is not the word that's coming to mind, but just make sure we're being caring in how much pressure we apply. We don't have to totally beat it up today. We want to be able to come back to this technique in a couple of days and incrementally balance out the strains in our body from the running. Okay, so same right leg, we're gonna get more towards the top of the kneecap instead of the inner edge. So again, above the kneecap on the thigh muscles, just towards the middle section. Turn your hips towards the floor and bend the leg and straighten it and bend it, straighten it. You can move around a little as you do this. Keep the ball moving. If you start to feel cramping in your hamstring, that's not out of the question. It's semi-common from the knee flexion that you're asking it to do, especially if you're already fatigued. Just don't go too far, don't go too fast. If you start to feel that ball up in your hamstring, stop and shake it out. Whew. Pretty intense. Couple more. Last one. Change, please. So we'll get to that left thigh, that long inner thigh portion of the space above the knee. So it's kind of distal portion of the thigh on the medial edge. So far part of the thigh, inner side. Bend the knee out to the side, kind of like a half frog shape, and roll it out. Oh, goodness. Yeah, we don't want to press on just one spot. We want to glide through spaces. We don't want to really be crossing over our joints. So just stay in these muscle groups. Try not to roll above and then below the knee. Stay in that quad section and get in there. Ooh. Still got some time. Three. Two. Change. Cool. Roll towards your stomach. The knee is more in the middle section of that distal portion of your thigh muscles. And then start to bend the knee. So again, it's above the kneecap, more on the thigh, in that top of the knee thigh section that feels really tense after running hills. And then slowly bend and straighten the leg. You can change the positioning of the ball, move it around a little as you explore these little tissues. And hopefully we feel that the glide is becoming a little bit more easy. Muscles sliding past each other with less friction. Ten more. Change, please. Okay, so now we'll get up towards this area where there's quite a few hip flexors that come through. So on the front kind of outer portion under the main hip crest, you have this ASIS point, and then this kind of fleshy, pockety area just on the front outer edge of the hip. So we have some things that come through here, the TFL, the sartorius, and some of their friends that are wrapping through this area, going down to the IT band, and then portions to the inner edge of the knee. So we'll kind of work out this area, keeping in mind that we don't want to be crossing over the joints themselves. We want to work into the tissues and let that ball roll. So on your right side, straighten the right leg, bottom leg is the right leg, left leg bent so your foot is flat, and then turn the hip and position that ball underneath your outer right hip, again in that kind of soft, sensitive tissue, and then roll it out. And keeping the ball moving, exploring what you're feeling, not just pinpointing on one spot. Breathe into what you feel. Communicate calm to your body. 20 more seconds. And change. Switch sides. Again, we're hitting that front outer portion of the top of the thigh hip area in front of and slightly below that ASIS point, that spiny point at the front portion of the hip. And get in there and roll it out. Oh, goodness. Still got some time. You having fun yet? Yeah, me too. 10 seconds. And change, please. Cool. Take that lacrosse ball, set it off to the side, lie down to your back. Legs bent, feet flat, hands under your head like you're watching the clouds, shoulder blades a little close, and just like you have skis on your feet, slowly, gently windshield wiper. Seems like the runners that I've worked with who have developed the most injuries or discomfort, it's because they treat running like a solo thing. Like, I'll warm up as I run, I'll cool down as I run, and when I'm done, I'm done. And then these issues start to creep up. So, yeah, be a runner. That's awesome. Go get it. Get out there and hit the pavement, have some fun, take in some beautiful views, challenge yourself, push through your walls. But being a runner isn't just what you do when you tie up your shoes. Being a runner also has to do with your nutrition and your hydration. Being a runner has to do with your warm up and your cool down techniques. Sometimes being a runner has to do with how you handle rest and active rest. So continue to make good choices, celebrate those positive investments in your wellness, observe how they affect your body when you're out there running, and just keep loving it. It's so nice to be able to move our bodies. It's such a blessing, such a gift. And when we treat it like a gift instead of a chore, I think it's that much more effective. Shavasana, please. Slide your legs out. Separate your legs comfortably wide. Relax your arms out comfortably wide as well. Breathe in. And out of your mouth. I encourage you to rest here as long as you can. Develop the skills of totally letting go of muscular tension. And remind yourself that when you commit to these little tune-up treatments, exercises, yoga classes, relaxation practices, that it feels good. That is something that you want to do more. My name is Alex. I feel lucky to spend this time with you guys. Thank you. Namaste.